if you don't mind.
Find it last night, Alma.
All right, you guys, we're ready.
So how did you get on into the?
Well, I had a link. I have a link on my thing. Do you have a link?
Wait,
Type in.
Taylor was just here.
I had trouble last night. Go to a browser. Just click on your browser, and type in HTTP. There you go. Now go over to here and type in mail.ironcounty.net after the 2 slashes. So yeah, just now go back and type in mail.
.ironcounty.net.
Right, no, yeah,
Right.
now type mail dot, there it is. Just click on that. There you go.
There we go. Oh, I gotta get.
The only reason I know that is I was on the phone with Jared last night at 9:30. I was having trouble. Ian?
There we go. Perfect. Thanks.
We good? All right, good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to our Iron County Commission meeting this Monday, the 9th day of November, 2020, and this beautiful wintry morning, and so grateful for the moisture we're receiving. And we'll begin this morning with an opening prayer, and Marilyn Wood will offer that. Following that, George Colson, our Emergency Management Director, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our dear Heavenly Father, thank Thee for all the many blessings we have received. Thank You for the moisture. We're so thankful for it. We've been so dry this summer. And we ask that Thou will give us more moisture as the winter goes on. At this time, please bless our county, our country, that Thou will be with us there, that Thou might help us to understand and help us get through these troubling times. Please bless the leaders here today, the commissioners and the people here helping with this meeting, that they'll be able to have clear thoughts and be able to do the right thing for the county. Again, we all appreciate the moisture and thank Thee for all the many blessings that we've received. We thank Thee for those things, and we pray for them in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for that. We will move on to departmental reports, and just Commissioner Blake he had something come up this morning, so he's going to be running a little bit late, so he'll join us when he can. But we're going to move Shane Manueli up first. He's got a court commitment, so we'll go ahead and hear from you first.
Yes, thank you for taking me out of order. So for the public defenders, we're within our budget. Things are going well budget-wise. A lot of that has to do with the fact that most of our budget is dedicated towards trial and trial expenses, and we haven't had trials in about 8 months. Any jury trials under the Supreme Court order. The court system functions under a different order than the state as far as when we'll be able to go in person. That's also one of our issues that we're facing, is the fact that we haven't had jury trials in about 8 months. And so some of the relationships with the public defenders and those that are incarcerated are starting to become strained and difficult, just because there is a constitutional guarantee to a trial, a speedy trial, and that's been interpreted to within 60 days. And so a lot of clients are a bit frustrated now, and so that's what we're working through, is really working with our client relationships to help them understand the current pandemic restrictions and orders that are in place. And other than that, the defense attorneys are working well. They're handling what they need to handle, but that's mainly our big struggle currently. But other than that, it's going well. Any questions for the Public Defender Department?
Is there any clue on how soon they're going to resume court? Is it just dependent on what's going on with the?
So the court presented in front of, there's a commission to decide, and so they take our health director's recommendation as well as the amount of ICU beds and the ability for the county to respond. And so Beaver County, I think recently was approved to go to yellow, but Iron and Washington County in our district were denied. And that request was made a couple weeks ago, and I think the request can be made as it's appropriate. And so I know that our court staff is working really hard to try to get us back in person. But what we would do is we'd move back to a yellow stage, which would allow us to do hybrid hearings where we can do some people in person, some electronically, and try to do some jury trials. But even once we get approved to start in yellow, jury trials will be the last thing that occur because we bring a lot of people from the outside in, and it's not necessarily voluntary service. And that's what's so scary about it, is we're forcing people to come and serve on a jury, and that's where they're being a little hesitant. And so it is what it is, but that's kind of where we're dealing with it at. So no, we don't know. We are setting status hearings out for about February with hopes that anything that's set for trial, we're kind of looking at it about February for a status to see where things are at.
Okay. Yeah, I have a running spreadsheet showing the 7-day rolling average of positive cases, and I shared that with Lori, so she has
brilliant.
access because she uses that data to when she discusses it with the courts up north. So, but well, I don't have any other questions. Do you have, Commissioner?
Okay.
It's gonna be a tough time.
Well-
That backlog.
Yeah, once we get back, we'll be busy. We'll be very busy, but we're getting ready for it. We know that's coming, so at least it's not going to hit us by surprise.
What about these capital trials and stuff that are approaching?
So
Are
the
they still going to
capital
have
cases-
those, or?
So those will go, and they'll probably take some precedence. But the way that the public defender services are utilized is that the public defender's office actually doesn't cover the capital cases. That goes to a capital team, basically, and so they're contracted throughout the state, those attorneys that are qualified to do capital cases. And so fortunately the public defender's office won't have to do those or focus on those
Okay.
cases.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thank you for taking me out of order. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
Thank
Good.
you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Shane. Good luck in court. All right, we'll go to. Is John ready?
Yeah, you want me to call him right now?
Sure. While you're getting him on the phone, why don't we go to HR? Jennifer.
Morning, thank you.
Thank you.
Be on hold till Jennifer gets done.
Oh, yeah. All right, good morning. To date, in 2020, Human Resource Department continues to be within established budget with no current and anticipated budget issues or concerns at this time. Since the last HR report, we've posted, interviewed, and hired for the following positions: a part-time correctional medical LPN, part-time CJC administrative coordinator, full-time patrol deputy, and a part-time, patrol secretary. Currently, we are in the process of hiring for the following positions: 2 full-time corrections deputy positions from active rosters, 1 full-time correctional medical technician, and 2 full-time patrol deputies from active rosters. At present time, we're currently posting and recruiting for the following positions: a part-time COA assistant cook, a full-time chief engineer, a full-time landfill scale operator apprentice technician, full-time attorney legal assistant, and a full-time Parowan DMV office manager to be filled internally within the DMV department. Employee turnover through the first 10 months of 2020 projects to be at 10.92%, which is exactly the same as what 2019 was. So 2019 was 10.92 at this point, and 8.73% in 2018. Workman's comp claims are trending well within 2020 with an EMOD risk factor of 0.72, which is down from 2019, which was at 0.87%.
Good drop.
There's 1 active unemployment claim at this time, which is trending slightly up from last year. And we have started beginning today with open enrollment with insurance meetings for all employees this week. And a calendar was sent a couple of weeks ago telling the times and dates. Currently this morning we were in the roads department and we'll be in the Cedar offices this afternoon. Employee performance evaluations are due at the end of October. Most departments completed on time, but I'm still waiting for a small percentage to come in. Do you have any questions for me?
No, quite a lot of activity.
Yes, we've been busy.
Quite a bit of backfill.
Yep. Perfect.
Good, thanks.
Thank you so
Jennifer.
much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I got one.
Let's see, we ready for John?
Yeah, John, here you are.
Did we wake you up, John?
Barely. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Well, I normally give you a copy of my my budget. The budget is doing pretty well. I anticipate we might have a little bit of a high budget item on our small tools and equipment for elections, as we had some extra expenses with COVID this year. But I think overall we'll be under budget. The election went fairly smoothly. We had some lines, but nobody had to wait terribly long. The vast majority of folks turned in their ballots at ballot boxes or voted by mail. We are currently sitting at 88% voter turnout, which is just fantastic. That's actually better than what we had in 2016. And we currently have 1,090 provisional ballots to be reviewed. I can't say enough for our staff who have just busted their backsides getting everything done. These are just big elections, and we would have 200-300 phone calls a day whilst trying to check in tens of thousands of ballots. And I can't say enough for my deputies, for the poll workers who come and with a smile on their face help people. There was at one point during election day when I ran out of patience and I had to put myself in timeout. But they were just remarkable, just almost limitless patience with the voters who really want their chance to vote, and I'm grateful for that. We should be wrapping the election up soon. We plan on having the canvass a week from tomorrow. As far as that goes, the clerk's office is doing pretty well. We're going into this time of the year to hopefully catch up on some of the things that we've had to kind of set down. We are a little understaffed, and so there's just a lot of tasks that we are responsible for, and over the last 8 to 10 weeks we've had to kind of put some of that on hold. So we'll hopefully catch up and get things going. So you may not see much of me for a while. I got word early this morning that I tested positive for COVID. So I will stay away. We'll have to see how my conversation goes with the contact tracer. But I'm here at home with my family, which is kind of nice, but I bet they get sick of me after a while. So you guys have any questions for me?
No, how are you feeling?
I'm fair. It's kind of like a bad cold. It's been improving a little bit each day. A little bit worse in the evenings, as often the case with a bad cold. A little bit difficulty breathing. Low grade fever. Sore throat and things like that. It's not terrible, and I'm sure I know a lot of folks have had a lot worse go of it than me. But I'm hopeful. I'm kind of on the upswing at this point. So.
Good. Glad to hear you're doing well, John.
Well, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Or thanks for that good report, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Get well.
Okay, bye.
All right, George. Emergency management.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
You have my budget there in front of you. My budget's doing well. I will not go over on anything, and I'll probably come in significantly under on several items. Not all my invoices are in or represented on this, so there will be some change, but nothing will go over budget. And as I said, some things will go considerably below. My PPE stocks are good. I started back when this first started, and FEMA agreed to start paying for it, I started stockpiling. So consequently, I've got a good supply, and they're still supplying for free, so I'm still ordering. So we've got masks, gloves, suits, gowns, and I've been supplying Care and Share and Canyon Creek, and I'll be taking some masks over to the sheriff's office later today, and getting hand sanitizer and all that in. So we're continuing to do well on PPE. We haven't had to pay for anything yet, so we're good. We got the tent up for Intermountain for their COVID testing. We had some minor glitches. Strangely, and just out of the blue, the wind blew in Cedar.
Yeah.
I took us all by surprise. So the tent did get whipped around a little bit. But first of all, I want to thank Mike Phillips, Chief Phillips, and his crew for coming out and helping us put the tent up. They were a big help. But on Friday, I had to call Preston because we were having some more trouble with the tent, and just the wind was whipping it around.
How do you anchor that down where it's asphalt?
We got sandbags. About two flood seasons ago, or last flood season, I had the sheriff send out a crew and from the jail, and we filled hundreds of sandbags, and I got them ready in a Connex, for flood purposes. And so we just, Tyler Hoyt came out from the road department. Preston called him out, and he came over. We drug a semi-trailer that belongs to the state. I just called him and told him we were doing it, so I didn't give him much choice. But as a wind block, and then Tyler came out, and we moved some barriers around, and Ryan Riddle from Fire came over, and we used his trailer to haul sandbags over there.
What if we had Preston bring you a few Jersey barriers or something heavy like the?
Well, we did.
Oh, you have some?
Yeah, we've got several Jersey barriers over there to anchor it to. But what was happening was, with the big doors open, the wind's getting in there. The wind was getting in and just tearing up the doors, and
it's the winds.
You know the old story that the pioneers said that they were it's going to stop here until the wind quit blowing. So, and we're still here. So,
it just brings back memories from 3 years ago at the Temple open house. I was in charge of setting up all those tents and keeping them from blowing away. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, and I went over Sunday and checked the tent, and because of the big door, because they're using it as a drive-through, it's warmer than they had, but it's still a little cold in there simply because you've got those two big doors open and the wind blows straight through. But without those heaters and without that tent, they'd be freezing right now. So, and I'll check them again today, but I checked them yesterday. They seem to be doing all right.
That's good. That's timely for those workers out there in the cold, isn't it?
Well, and I feel sorry for the ones that are out doing the initial sign up, because they're just out in the elements. They're not under a tent or anything. So they looked really cold yesterday. So, but other than that, we're doing good, and we just keep plugging along.
Wonder if there's some kind of tent that could be set up for those people that are outside. I don't know what it would be. I mean, when we had one of our kids' weddings, we set up some quick tents because it was rained and it was an outdoor wedding. But they'd obviously have to be held down some way. But I don't know.
Well, and as any of us who've worked in the open in this country knows that, if you can just get out of the wind, you bring that temperature down, and especially today, it's snowing on them and the wind's blowing, and they're going to be cold.
Yeah, and that's that's what I meant when it's snowing or raining, the tents. But as far as keeping them warm, I don't know. But then they've got to just come up to the window of each car, and so.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know that there's an answer to it in this part of the country. So, But so far the tent's holding up. There's been a little damage to one of them, to the one. It's down on the flooring where there's a flap. It tore a little bit just because of the wind whipping it around. It's not severe, so I think we'll be all right.
And this is our new one.
Yeah, this is our new tent. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I came up yesterday, because I'm nervous, because that's a $118,000 investment, you know.
Right.
And I don't want to have to replace it.
Yeah.
Any questions for emergency management?
No, I think we're good. But thanks for that good report.
I will continue to send you the hospital reports as I get them.
That's good.
And I get hotspot reports every morning, 7 days a week actually, and the only county in this region that is consistently on that or on it at all is Washington County. The other 4 counties, none of us are on those hotspot reports and haven't been for a while, so we're good.
Thanks, George.
Okay, thank
All
you,
right,
George.
thanks.
Kathy Riggs will not be here for extension. She'll be reporting next time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
George, George, I just got a text from Chelsea. She said they've got problems with the tent. You might want to give them a call.
I'll be headed over.
So, thank you. All right.
Well, the one good thing about the tent is that Kate Garfield's husband will get his deer tent back, his deer trailer back. So
Okay.
she stole his deer trailer. She's had it for about 6 months now.
The snow cone people are done with their little things. I wonder if you could borrow one of those snow cone things for the people that stand out.
Yeah, they could warm in there and then step out. That's a good idea. Wonder if
Cause
you
they're done with the
put
snow
some kind of
cones
heater in it.
now.
Right, right.
Something that would work.
Good thought.
Is that that's kind of under the purview of IHC, isn't it? Those employees, or are we responsible to kind of take care of it?
I think George.
George, are we? I mean, we're helping IHC with this, right? I mean, is it under our purview or the IHC's to provide the shelter?
Well,
and
they're responsible for it. We've got a MOU. They haven't had, I haven't got it in my hand to have them sign it, but as soon as we do. But the conditions of the MOU is that any damage to the tent, they pay for. So, yeah, we're helping them out. We're loaning the tent under an MOU.
Okay.
Is there a steady stream of people coming in? Because like Marilyn was saying, it would be nice to get some kind of shelter there where the people that are signing them in could step into and warm up, and then back out. One of these snow shacks or something.
I know yesterday when I went by, it was probably about 10:30, and there were probably 6-7 cars and more arriving.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be, and that's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So, obviously, there are still people out there who want to be tested. So I won't comment on the validity of the test, but they still want to be tested. So they're still lining up.
Okay. All right. Have a good day. Thanks, George. Commissioner, do you have any report?
Had an invite to go to St. George Regional COVID area, which I thought, what? Anyway, I did go and had as many as 6 people that I was visiting with and giving me the tour. But it was we obviously didn't go right in where the patients were, but it was interesting. I can't remember the name of the thing they put on, but they talk about arduous. The ones that go right in to help the COVID patients put on this respirator type thing, and then they walk out when they're done, and then they have to wipe it down inside and out. And then 5 minutes later, maybe the person will call and say, well, I need my blanket moved up a little higher on my legs. So they have to go through that again and again. So they're getting worn down there. And I said, well, why do you have so many and we have so few? And they said that a lot of Iron County COVID patients are being referred down there. So I'm not saying we're overwhelmed, but a lot of ours are being referred down there because they have better ability, I guess, to take care of them. So. But I talked to, a number of people, and they're getting really tired. So I think we need to be careful and try to, be careful with wearing our masks when we're around anybody and distancing, and try to slow this thing down, because I would hate to be working in that hospital right now. I'll tell you that. So, anyway, the really good news this morning, though, is that Pfizer's getting very close. That them, along with BioNTech, which is a foreign company, very close on a vaccine. The tests they've done are 90% effective, and hopefully they said that they had to have 2 months of data, and apparently they already have close to the 2 months of data on this. So. They're talking maybe even before the end of the month they might start with the vaccine. So that would be amazing to get going on that, and that would be the thing that would probably turn this around, hopefully. So anyway, that's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I had heard that too, that they were shipping a lot of our patients down there, but I called Dr. Blodgett. I talked to him yesterday, and he said they're keeping a lot of them here. So I'm not sure which.
Well, not all of them, but some. They're
maybe the most serious.
Getting some, and we're lucky we haven't had a terrible outbreak here. But
yeah,
our hospital's not overwhelmed
right
at all. But they had a tent down there, and they had the Jersey barriers, all around it, set up so it wouldn't blow away. And they didn't have anybody in there yet, but they said, if it gets bad enough, that's where at least one end of that is where they would take the terminal people, and just. Anyway, they've got their contingency plans in place, it wasn't a panic feeling at all, but they're tired. They're really tired. So.
Well, we appreciate their efforts and sympathize. Progress is coming along on the senior center. I think they're going to start framing this week. They had all the concrete done last week, and I believe it's going to take a couple of weeks to frame it. I met with the Newcastle fire chief. Wayne Peterson they're in need of some more storage. They need a couple more bays. They're storing a couple of their trucks in Bob Holt's potato storage across the street there in Newcastle. And so I attended a CDBG training in Panguitch a couple weeks ago, and I've asked Reed Erickson to look into this. He's done some of those, and I gave him the booklet I received at that training that has all the current requirements. And so he's going to look into what it would take to start working through the process of getting some funds to maybe add on to that fire station out in Newcastle. Where he stores his equipment across the street, he's got to drain those trucks, and so it's really not really conducive to what they do on those two. I guess it's a brush truck and another one, but so that's something we're working on. There's let's see what else. I was on a call with quite a few county commissioners across the state talking about this CAFO, the central. Or the concentrated agriculture farming operations, and that's mainly the pig farms, and we're watching that really close, and so just monitoring that, and I think Iron County is going to participate in some legal action there, and so we're moving that direction. But that's other than that, I don't think I have anything else. So we will go ahead and adjourn or just recess until 10 o'clock.
What about the ice rink? Have you been up there?
Oh,
They got that
I talked to
set up.
Kerry Fain about the ice rink, and they're just still waiting on their insurance. We don't want them working up there until they have their liability insurance, so they're still waiting on that policy. And it's too bad because they had some good weather there.
Yeah.
So now it's gonna. I don't know how much snow they got up to Woods Ranch, but
At least they'll have cold to freeze the eye.
there you go. Yep. So, but still waiting to hear. I haven't talked to her for a few days. Hopefully they're gonna get that figured out soon. So.
Went by the senior center, that's looking good.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. Great. They're getting right with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a good frame.